When will I see this? Thank you for your question, Jessica. It's been on my mind since I joined this law firm on December 16th. And uh, before we even continue this conversation, let's establish that business development is today the same thing as marketing. Everything is marketing, and marketing is everything today. So, what is disruptive technology? Before we continue talking about it, let's define it, right? And disruptive technology, this term first was invented by Harvard Business School professor, describing the technology that unexpectedly displaces an established technology. So, then what is an established technology in the legal industry? Let's talk about that, right? Well, it's your website that you build per your gut feeling rather than competitive intelligence analysis and a knowledge of users' expectations. If you build a website based solely on what worked for you before or your gut feeling, which is emotion, and as we know, emotions are not true information. Most of the time, emotions are false information. So your website will not serve the purpose it's supposed to serve, which is to be your lead generating platform, ensure visibility of your business, and produce new clients for you consistently so that your business can be successful. And of course, a law firm is simply a business. And a law firm's business development and marketing today are the same as business development and marketing for any other business. So what I've seen is that people live in a little box where they say, well, this worked for us before. It always worked. Unfortunately, today the world is so fast-paced. It is moving in such defined direction that what worked for you before is not guaranteed for, number one, work for you today, and number two, there is no guarantee that it will work for you tomorrow. So instead of being stuck in the past, we need to focus on the present and look toward the future. Also, I wanted to touch on 3 points today in our conversation. Number one is that, of course, as I said, business development and marketing today for law firm are the same as for any other business, and there is no longer in existence any B2B, any B2C. Today it's all about H2H, and it's human to human. So to be successful in your business development, read marketing, you must know very well your buyer persona, and you must, with your marketing message, speak straight to their heart, explaining to them how do you solve their problem. And of course, for that, you need to be very clear on your buyer persona's pain points. And when I say buyer persona, you're thinking maybe, well, I'm not selling any products. Of course you're not, but you are selling services. And there is a buyer persona who is to purchase your services. You need to know who they are, where they live, what their demographical portrait is, what their pain points are, and how you're going to solve them. Basically, you need to focus. That's the second point I wanted to touch upon, is when I go to legal websites or I see legal brochures or I read the articles, it's all about how great you are as an attorney, how wonderful you are as a firm. Unfortunately, as the reader today, as your buyer persona, I don't care. All I care about, what's in it for me? How can you help me? What can you do to solve my problems? Why should I choose to hire you among all other people? And you have to remember that today, as a legal marketer, as a business owner, you are competing with millions and millions of people. Anybody in their bedroom with a laptop is competing with you. There are no walls anymore in the 21st century. The world is all global, see-through. You know, everybody has the access to everything. So you're competing not just with John Smith, your next door neighbor who is an attorney, you're competing with the world, with everybody. And when you think about business development and marketing overall, then you know you're competing with a gazillion of people for their attention. So to be heard, to grab somebody's attention and to retain that attention, you're competing with the entire world. So how do you do it? You do it by embracing this disruptive technology. And you know what we call disruptive technology today is really not so disruptive. It's only disruptive in the legal marketing industry. You know, the two, for example, let's say you're building a website. You invest $10,000. And the reason why I talk about the website is because that is your number one tool to ensure sustainability of your business. Visibility, your expertise, your thought leadership, your lead generation, that's what it's supposed to be, of course. It's not just your business card, your static online brochure. It is no longer so. So let's say you build a website per your gut feeling, per your false emotion, right? You invest $10,000 and you so enjoy how beautiful it is and how wonderful it looks on the desktop because that's the only place you ever looked at it from, right? If your website is not mobile friendly, if it's not built on a platform that is easily crawlable by search engines such as Google, Bing, Yahoo, if you did not account and took into consideration such search engine algorithms such as Google Panda, Penguin, Hummingbird, if you don't constantly update that website with your blog that answers one simple question, what's in it for me? Unfortunately, no matter how beautiful it is, how wonderful, expensive it is, and how much you love to stare at it, it will not serve as the tool it's supposed to be for your business development and marketing. It will not ensure your visibility. And if you're not visible today, if you don't proactively try to stay visible, you become invisible. It's that simple. So that's one big secret of marketing and business development. If you don't try to stay visible, you become invisible today. So when we talk about disruptive technology, we've got to embrace it. The world is not moving backwards. It is moving forward. And what seems to be so disruptive in the legal industry today is a well-known technology that's been used for years today. And we've got to expand our mind, look outside of our industry. And I highly recommend that we start attending entrepreneurship conferences and look in other industries for what is going on in the world. So that we're not stuck in yesterday.
Right. Well, that was very interesting. I like the idea of human to human, especially I think in the legal industry where it's easy to get very, very technical and kind of in your own zone rather than, I don't know, being able to communicate with the wider audience. So.
Exactly, and when you craft your marketing message, you have to remember that you're speaking to another human. You cannot speak in terms that are general. Basically, with your marketing copy, with your marketing message, with your business development message, whether it's your brochure, your website, your press release, anything, you have to answer what's in it for me question in a way that is also, you have to ensure that you're answering to yourself, am I making this attention catching? Because attention span of the audience today is 8 seconds. And trust me, I stay up to date. I read at least an ebook a day. I follow all the marketing experts, and I've been following, for years. And I'm an entrepreneur, and I have a marketing company. This is what I do, and I've been doing it for years. And I will tell you that it is what it is today. Attention span of people is 8 seconds. So ask yourself, am I making this attention catching? Am I making it easy to understand? And am I making it memorable? Because if you speak to me as your reader, as your website visitor, if you speak to me in terms that are impossible for me to understand and remember, and I have to question if I even speak the same language with you, I will not be able to remember who you are. You won't stay on top of my mind. That's what business development and marketing is all about. How can you ensure that you stay on top of my mind as your reader, as your visitor, as your buyer persona, right? As your audience. So If you don't make it easy to understand, attention-catching and memorable, just so I can go and speak with my husband tonight, drinking tea at home, telling them what I've learned about you, if you're not making it so for me, then you just wasted my time, your time, and your resources, and time and energy and effort. Mm-hmm. So ensuring that, and also my advice to everybody today regarding disruptive technology is learn about inbound marketing. Embrace your role as a marketing, as an attorney, as an expert, as a thought leader, as a business owner. Embrace your role as a valuable content producer. Mm-hmm. It's not something you're gonna take as a task. It is not an event. Okay, I wrote one blog. It's a process for the rest of time, forever and ever, because how search engines crawl your website today, you have to know it. You have to learn about it. And what people search for today, people who search for your name, if you're measuring your success by searching for your own name, well, people who know your name, they already know what you do. What you want is to grab attention of people who don't know about your existence, who you want to come across as an expert and potentially have them as a client. And for that, people search for long-tail terms, simple questions that arise in their minds. How do I? What are the tips? What is the advice on such and such topic? And you've got to consistently write about it to become an expert. Also, you have to understand search engine optimization and how Google, Hummingbird, Panda, and Penguin work, and why your website is not performing that well for you. You must ensure that your website has high value, high content, irresistible offer on it that you give me as a visitor in exchange for my email and name, so that your website serves as a lead generating platform. Then you can follow up with me, nurture me, and hopefully eventually I will hire you and recommend you to other people as well. And also, you must consistently, proactively gather online reviews on Yelp, on Facebook, on Avo, on Martindale-Hubbell, everywhere, on Google+, everywhere. You must proactively, and LinkedIn, don't forget LinkedIn. This is your free platform to help you establish your thought leadership and do your business development in a way that is so easy. Don't underestimate the value of these tools. Proactively gather these online reviews, because no matter how much money you invest into your business development, how awesome you are, and etc., if somebody recommends you to me and I go online and I see your one-star review, it is highly unlikely that I will hire you. Because today, experts agree that most people do their due diligence before they make a purchasing decision, such as hiring you as an attorney. So you need to ensure that you have good online reviews across all platforms. And I've heard from several attorneys, well, Yelp is for restaurants. That's only for nail salons. Don't be mistaken. It is not so at all. If you take your iPhone, and if right now I take my iPhone and I push this button and I ask Siri to recommend me a fiduciary litigation attorney, a personal injury attorney, a divorce attorney, Atlanta, guess what it's going to use to recommend anything to me? It's going to be Yelp.com. So if you're not on Yelp, or if you're not proactively establishing good presence on Yelp, if you're not proactively gathering reviews, you're going to be at disadvantage. More importantly, you may think, well, I'm not on Yelp. Well, you're not proactively trying to be on Yelp. Doesn't mean you are not on Yelp. I can right now go and do a check-in for a business and call it whatever I want and write you one-star review. And then you just being negligent of it and not knowing about it doesn't mean you're not there. I already placed you there. So instead of allowing the world to take over your brand presence, be proactive about it and ensure that you have positive reviews, positive presence that is universal and consistent across all of these platforms. So to summarize all this, overall, my advice is don't run away from disruptive technology. Don't do this thinking that it's going to change the world. It's not. The world is out there. It's changing. So open up your eyes and embrace the technology that in legal industry we call disruptive, and use it to create competitive advantage so that you can ensure sustainability of your business, of your law firm.
That was wonderful. Really interesting. I don't think I have any other follow-up questions to that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you talk about the social idea, and I think it's also the distinction between the legal industry and also what disruptive technology is in the world at large. I think that's the right distinction to make. Yeah, I think that was great.
What is your other feedback? Give me some details on this interview. What part of it do you think you guys will use?